Hello Moto GP enthusiasts. Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Massimo Rivola says Aprilia's transformation into a championship contending operation is the product of a long, deliberate project, and that the team will only add riders who bring the right mix of hunger, teamwork and technical intelligence. Rivola's comments, given to Mundo Deportivo, sketch the ideal attributes he expects from a future teammate such as Pecco Bagnaia, who is widely reported to join Aprilia in 2027. Pecco Bagnaia opened up about his relationship with fear, confidence, and the demands of top-level racing in a video interview for the Moto GP website. The 2024 champion admitted he has lost some self-belief after a difficult period but said fear plays a constructive role by marking the limit riders must respect. Marc Marquez says he will return at Mugello this weekend but is taking a measured approach, using the Italian Grand Prix primarily to assess his physical condition and how the Desmosedici GP feels after recent surgeries. The reigning champion skipped Catalunya after fracturing his foot in Le Mans and underwent an additional shoulder operation to relieve a compressed radial nerve. Pending a Thursday medical check, he will ride at Ducati's home round. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Rivola traces Aprilia's rise back to his arrival in 2019 and a steady program of engineering, recruitment, and culture change. The results: Marco Bezzecchi's early wins and Aprilia's strong start to 2026, are the payoff of that patient strategy. I'm very confident, so I'm sure that this Aprilia of today, if nothing changes, will continue to be a strong Aprilia in the coming years as well. Building a title-capable factory is rarely a single-season sprint. Rivola's emphasis on continuity explains Aprilia's rapid but sustainable progress. Rivola credits Marco Bezzecchi's growth, including wins at tracks that historically didn't suit the RSGP, as central to Aprilia's momentum. He contrasts Bezzecchi's trajectory with past seasons where race wins did not always translate into a championship, highlighting the value of consistent points scoring. A rider who combines speed with consistency often outperforms a pure race winner over a long season. Teams prize that balance when planning title bids. Rivola confirmed Aprilia will supply 4 identical machines tailored to rider preferences, stressing that small setup choices will allow different riding styles to flourish on the same base package. The factory's goal is collective success rather than individual glory. Standardizing hardware while allowing personalized setup is a pragmatic way to extract maximum performance from multiple top riders. When asked what matters most in a new signing, Rivola singled out 2 traits: an insatiable hunger for success and the ability to work within a team. Those qualities, he said, form the foundation for long-term success at Aprilia. If he's hungry for success, we start from a good base. And if he's a rider who knows how to work in a team and isn't an individualist, then that's crucial. Talent alone is not enough. Modern MotoGP teams demand riders who contribute to development, share data, and accept role clarity. Rivola smiled when asked about Bagnaia's name being linked to Aprilia, either confirming nor denying the deal but signaling that the team values the exact profile Bagnaia represents: speed, technical feedback, and competitive hunger. With Bagnaia reportedly joining in 2027, Aprilia is positioning itself to field a formidable quartet. Adding a rider of Bagnaia's caliber would raise expectations and intensify intra-team dynamics. Managing that transition will be as important as the signing itself. Massimo Rivola's remarks frame Aprilia's success as the outcome of strategic patience, smart recruitment, and a culture that prizes teamwork. Whether Pecco Bagnaia arrives or not, Rivola's checklist, hunger, team play and technical acumen, explains why Aprilia believes it can sustain its current form into the new regulatory era. With Bezzecchi and Jorge Martin already delivering results, the factory's next moves will determine whether Aprilia converts momentum into a genuine multi-year title challenge. Bagnaia acknowledged a dip in confidence following a challenging 2025 and a slow start to 2026. He described the recovery as a process that requires patience and belief in gradual improvement rather than instant fixes. "I've lost a lot of my confidence on the bike and my self-confidence. But there's no other option. It's part of the process, and I know we'll be back in that situation. I just have to believe in the process." Confidence is often the invisible performance factor. Rebuilding it typically involves small, repeatable successes in testing and race trim. Rather than dismissing fear, Bagnaia framed it as a necessary signal that defines the edge of what is safe and possible on a Moto GP bike. He said that understanding and respecting that fear helps riders find the true limit. "You have to be afraid when you're driving. You have to know where the limit is, and for me, the limit is fear." Elite riders frequently describe a fine balance between controlled fear and calculated aggression. Managing that balance is a hallmark of champions. Bagnaia reflected on the sacrifices required to reach the top, noting that the people around a rider often bear the greatest cost. He defended a focused, sometimes selfish approach as necessary to achieve championship goals. To reach the top, you have to be focused, and the people around you have to understand that. The personal toll of elite motorsport is real. Teams and families play a crucial role in sustaining a rider's long-term campaign. Bagnaia described the psychological flip that occurs when he pulls on his helmet. A more aggressive, concentrated version of himself emerges, capable of extracting razor-thin margins. That transformation is part of what makes MotoGP uniquely intense. "When I'm on the track and I close my visor, I become more aggressive. I bring out a part of myself that remains hidden in normal life." The ability to switch mental states quickly is a competitive advantage, especially during qualifying and the opening laps of a race. Despite the pressure and fear, Bagnaia reminded listeners of the sport's highs, the elation of a perfect time attack or a lap where everything aligns. Those moments justify the sacrifices and keep riders striving for more. When you get the best time in a time attack, when you do everything perfectly, you still feel a huge thrill and you feel like a superhero. Peak performance moments reinforce confidence and can accelerate a rider's return to form after a slump. Pecco Bagnaia's comments reveal a rider wrestling honestly with the mental side of MotoGP while reaffirming the mindset that brought him success. By treating fear as a boundary rather than an enemy and trusting the recovery process, Bagnaia aims to rebuild the confidence that fuels championship runs. How quickly that translates into results will depend on small gains in testing, race weekends, and the psychological momentum he can generate from those perfect laps. Marquez reports that recovery is progressing as planned, and that he has resumed normal training in recent days. He emphasized that the weekend's objective is to test his sensations on the bike and confirm his fitness rather than chase immediate results. "Both surgeries went well, but we are proceeding with all due caution and with the final medical checks at the track." Returning from multiple procedures requires careful load management. Mugello's physical demands mean teams usually prioritize short, controlled runs before committing to full race distances. The Spaniard missed Catalunya after fracturing his foot in the Le Mans sprint, and then opted to bring forward a shoulder operation to address a compressed radial nerve. The combined interventions aim to remove pain and restore function ahead of a busy mid-season schedule. Shoulder and nerve issues can affect throttle control and arm pump, two critical elements for extracting consistent lap times on a Ducati. Mugello is both a demanding circuit and a symbolic return point, Ducati's home event, where Marquez swept the weekend last season. He acknowledged the track's physicality but welcomed the extra motivation from the Ducatisti. "Mugello is an incredible track. The support of all the Ducatisti will be an extra motivational booster to do well. Home crowds can lift a rider's spirits, but the combination of long straights and high-speed corners at Mugello will quickly reveal any lingering physical limitations." Pecco Bagnaia, who recently returned to the podium in Catalunya despite a heavy impact earlier in the weekend, underlined Mugello's special status and the team's ongoing work. the factory Ducati pair head into the weekend sitting 8th and 9th in the standings, a position that underlines the team's need to regain momentum. The Italian GP at Mugello is always a special moment of the season. I can't wait to get on track. A fully fit Marquez would instantly strengthen Ducati's title bid. Conversely, a cautious return that limits his running could force the team to prioritize longer-term recovery over short-term points. Expect Marquez to follow a conservative program, measured practice stints, close monitoring by medical staff, and a focus on feedback rather than outright pace. If the medical checks go well, he may step up his running across the weekend. If not, the team will likely scale back his workload to protect long-term prospects. Mugello's layout will make any physical deficit obvious, particularly under braking and through high G corners, so the team will be cautious about exposing Marquez to excessive strain. Marc Marquez's planned return at Mugello is framed by prudence. The priority is to test feelings and confirm fitness after 2 surgeries rather than to chase immediate glory. A successful, measured comeback would be a major boost for Ducati. A cautious weekend that limits his mileage would be a sensible trade-off to safeguard the rest of the season. Either way, Mugello will quickly reveal whether Marquez can resume his title defense at full strength or needs more time to rebuild. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your Moto GP news update. And see you next time!